The basement.
The basement.
No!
The basement.
Oh, the basement.
I know that.
The basement.
Oh boy.
No!
Oh boy.
Am I dead?
The basement.
But nobody ever says that.
The basement.
The basement.
Wait.
The basement.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Stan,
I'm Guy.
and we're from the basement. We're continuing our September wrestling discussion, our September wrestling roundtable. This part is going to be about the pay-per-views coming up this month. This being a 2 pay-per-view month because of the brand split. We're going to start out with Backlash, which happens in just a couple days here. 3 days, basically. It's Thursday we're recording. And ultimately, there isn't a whole lot on the card for this. But we're going to go through it. We're going to give our opinions, kind of where we see it going, and we'll move on. So,
This will be an after prediction video. Because Backlash will air before we drop this.
that's true.
So, remember, this is filmed before Backlash.
It's September 8th right now. So, if we're successful, damn, we're good. Yeah, we're not. That being said, moving forward. The matches that are officially on the card right now. You have The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. Opinions on this?
I think it's good. I think they work well together. I think it'll be a pretty good match.
I think from a match standpoint, it is going to be a very good match. And we'll discuss in a different video kind of our thoughts on the whole shoot interview and Miz being soft, etc., etc. But I do think that both of their styles work together. The one thing that I find kind of confusing in it is you have The Miz, who is he's the epitome of heel. He plays a heel better than anyone. We've been saying this since we started doing these roundtables back in April or March, that he's the best heel in the market. I mean, he understands exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Against Dolph Ziggler, who
Should be a heel.
well, recently it's looked like they're shifting him heel. Yes, he's still getting the pop from the crowd. People appreciate the fact that he is good at what he does, and I believe that he deserves to be in the title pictures. But it's kind of a weird mismatch, and if Dolph wasn't so over with the crowd just innately, it feels like this match just wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
Not because they can't perform together, because they can put on a great match, but there wouldn't be story there.
It would be heel versus heel.
Right, and that becomes a struggle, which it is what it is, but we'll find out when it happens, and we'll move forward from there.
I mean, I like Miz. He's got style, but he doesn't have style. Take notes, Miz. Take notes.
Who's your choice winner in this match?
I think Miz takes it. He keeps the belt.
You know what? I have to agree. I would like to see them put the title on Ziggler, but I don't think taking off The Miz makes sense.
No.
I think
not after the promos he's cut.
The Miz has been amazing recently, and as such, Miz retains, moves forward, and continues to be the champion. Next match that they have officially on the card, based on what I have for information, is Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, someone near dear to Guy's heart.
I do like Bray Wyatt.
How do you see this match working out? I have my opinions on it, but
I honestly I don't think it'll be burying, but I think Orton comes out on top, and I think Bray Wyatt continues to get pushed down.
It can go one of two ways. I could see them playing it as Randy Orton wins. That builds momentum for Randy Orton as this beast. You know, he's viable. The loss to Lesnar was what it was, but you know, rebuilding him in a role that he doesn't necessarily need to be in. On the flip side, I could see them having Bray Wyatt come out on top, and this being the rebuild of Bray Wyatt.
Push for Bray Wyatt to be main event.
Yeah, and I could see it go either way, and I don't think that a loss by Randy Orton necessarily negatively affects.
Yeah, you can
him.
still make him look good, especially with the rematch coming up with him and Lesnar.
Right.
So I mean,
it's tough to say.
I think that's a stupid idea though. Branching off the Lesnar Orton rematch,
Right.
but whatever.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Because what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make Orton win and make Lesnar look weak now all of a sudden, or are you gonna keep it a squash and have Lesnar, keep being strong?
Right. It's tough to say which way it's gonna go. That being said, let's move forward. I don't know if you guys can hear, but my wife came home and she's stomping around the house. I told her to text me before she got home so that we could stop filming so that she could come home. My wife doesn't listen. Guys, it doesn't change. Every woman's like that. I just drew the ire. It's just going to be hate. Hate, hate, hate. No, I love my wife to death. I wish that she would have sent me a text message. So I apologize if you have the noise in the background. That's all I'm saying. I just like to give her some crap because she does watch her videos from time to time. So she's going to come back and beat the crap out of me because that's what she does.
She actually went down to grab a folding chair right now.
No, I love my wife to death. Moving forward. The next match on the card, well, actually we have a match that will lead to a match, and that being the match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. You have the Usos versus the Hype Brothers to determine who's actually going to be in the finals of the tournament because of an American Alpha injury.
Yeah, it was supposed to be American Alphas versus Heath Slater and Rhino.
But because of an injury, we'll discuss that in the other video. But yeah, how do you see this match going? The Usos and Hype Brothers.
I think the Usos have to win. I think in order for them to complete their heel turn, I think they need to win that, go on, and face Heath Slater and Rhino for the titles.
I agree. I like the fact that, in a way, they were pushing the Hype Brothers.
They were, yeah.
And that's impressive, and I think that they're a team with that high energy style. I think they deserve it to an extent. But I think the Usos go over. One thing I'd like to point out, you got the Usos turning heel. Probably 3 days after we filmed the August video, I made that call. Mm-hmm. I need to get these things on tape because I said, the Usos are getting stale. They're impressive in the ring, but the gimmick's getting, kind of worked, and they need to turn them heel. So I agree. I think the Usos come out. So then you have the Usos versus Heath Slater and Rhino for the championship. And also, if Heath Slater and Rhino win, Heath Slater gets his contract.
I don't know if they're going to win. I think he'll still get a contract, but I don't know if they're going to win.
Once again, this is one that I could see going multiple ways. I could see the Usos coming into the turn, coming out and winning the titles, and this building in an Usos American Alpha feud. It's a whole lot easier to have heels on with the straps on them.
Yeah, if you put the titles on the Usos, when American Alphas get back, they can immediately go for revenge and the titles.
Well, it gives you the opportunity. You have a tag division right now on SmackDown that is pretty heel dominated, and it gives you have the Hype Bros and American Alpha that are really true baby faces.
Yeah,
and it's so I could see the Usos winning, and then I could see them using in just the Heath Slater gimmick of I'm fighting to get a chance. And just keep that moving.
Yeah.
And it does it keeps that open. I mean, it's still kind of funny. I could see it going the other way with Rhino getting the win, Heath getting the contract signed. The one thing I question about that is, we're moving into election season. Rhino has got running for an office. I don't see him being around that long. But it would be interesting either way. I do. I agree. I'm putting it on the table. Usos come out on top.
I think so too.
Just to build a feud in the future. next match, really, I don't care, but we should probably discuss it. Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Carmella versus Naomi versus Natalya versus Nikki Bella for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Carmella. Whatever.
I don't
Throw it
care.
out there.
I think maybe they put this title on Becky Lynch. I don't know.
I fast forward through all of this. And
Well, the only thing I can say about this that's at all positive is the fact that they did it correctly. It's an elimination 6-pack challenge. It's not the standard 6-pack where it's like, oh, if somebody pins somebody, they win the title. It's an elimination style. That's good. It's a step in the right direction. So yeah, there's that. And the final match on Backlash is Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles.
That'll be a good match.
That and the Miz match are the matches that I'm really looking forward to on this card. I think that you have a really intense, kind of, not a hardcore match, but a very physical match. A lot of crazy stuff, because I think that Dean Ambrose will be willing to work with AJ Styles and do a little bit more independent style in the way it's run, where it's a lot more about appearance. It's not how you're working the camera. It should be a really good match, and I like the whole AJ Styles face that runs the place. Like, they're really getting him over good as a heel. So that works well for me. Who do you think comes out on top?
I think Ambrose still retains. Unless they want Cena to go for his Ric Flair beating record for number of championships won. Because that's what he's going to do. If AJ Styles wins the championship, Cena's going to come back and...
Well, okay, here's my thought on it, and I'm going to step out on a limb, and this goes against everything I believe, because I think that Dean Ambrose deserves that title. He belongs as the champion. He's carrying it well. However, I think they have AJ Styles beat Ambrose. Put the strap on AJ Styles. You're moving it to a heel. You have AJ Styles defend it throughout the rest of the year. Cena remains disappeared. They start this whole thing of like, where did he go? He's just kind of gone. Whatever. AJ Styles continues to defend. And either Royal Rumble or... I'm going to guess Royal Rumble, because they don't usually have long stretches with big blow-offs. Mm-hmm. They usually kind of had shorter programs lately. So Royal Rumble, I was going to say WrestleMania potentially. You have that big blow-off where it's Cena comes back. Maybe here's my take on it. Maybe AJ Styles carries that title all the way to WrestleMania. John Cena is gone, comes back at Royal Rumble, wins the Royal Rumble, and then gets his championship match. So, that's just how I see it. It's on paper now. Like I said, it's September the 8th. So if that happens, boy, I know the business. But that is everything that is on the card currently for Backlash. That being said, we're going to move to the flip side. To Clash of Champions. The return of Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions, there isn't a whole lot out there for right yet.
Oh, this is the Raw.
It's the Raw pay-per-view. It is, I believe, September 25th.
Yeah.
Which, Backlash is September 11th. This is 2 weeks later, September 25th. As far as them having the split pay-per-views, now that there's the network, I think that I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't have paid money to see both of them in the past in the old pay-per-view style.
Twice in 1 month.
Yeah, not going to happen. So right now, as far as what I have right now, you can lambaste me in the comments if there's somewhere else there's more information out there and I just missed it. I've been pretty busy this week so far, so I haven't got to dig in too much. But what I have happening at Clash of Champions so far would be Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, which we can discuss Sasha Banks' speech on Monday Night Raw in our next video. you see Sasha Banks taking the title back?
Yeah. I think Charlotte had a run with it.
I think you see Sasha Banks taking the title back just because what I've seen is that potentially Charlotte has some work outside of the ring. So the second match, and now we don't really pay a whole lot of attention to women's wrestling if you haven't noticed, so that isn't a big deal to us. The second match being the New Day versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson again for the championship this time.
I think you give it to Gallows and Anderson.
I agree.
I don't think they can keep losing or winning without getting the titles.
I don't, and I think that they're starting to make Gallows and Anderson look a little bit weak by having them lose.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have them beat the New Day, and then you have the New Day kind of reinventing themselves since they're not the tag champions anymore. I think it'll be a good match. Once again, the New Day are entertaining. They're impressive. You know, they're pretty impressive in the ring. Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, both impressive in the ring, especially as that brute force tag team. And then it ultimately, by putting it on Gallows and Anderson, it feels like it opens up the tag division on Raw, which is one of the things I think that they need to do. Because while the straps are on the New Day, it feels like the straps are going to be on the New Day, and that's the way it is. And the only other match that there's up there so far is Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. We'll talk about how Kevin Owens got the title here shortly.
That could change too.
I could.
It could be a triple threat.
I see it being a Kevin. Well, I could see it being a triple threat, I guess.
They're really adamant on pushing Reigns down our throat. So
Yeah. But ultimately, I think a Kevin Owens Seth Rollins match is going to be excellent.
yeah.
They're both great in-ring performers. They both have a lot of personality. They're really fun to listen to and watch. And they'll put on a good match. Who do you think comes out on top?
Kevin Owens.
Strangely, if you would have asked me a week ago, if you said Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are fighting for the title, who comes out on top, I would have said Seth Rollins. I think they have recognized the fact that Kevin Owens is indeed every bit as talented as he is, and they keep the title on him. So that is this month's pay-per-views. Of course, next month's video we'll discuss kind of the results. Probably have forgotten what we've actually said. So maybe next month I'm going to be like, oh, you remember the Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins? Yeah, I said Seth Rollins is going to win. When, whatever. But thanks for watching. We have other videos. The wonderful Mard will put one. This time I want it right here, Mard. Right here. That's where your link is. Right there, Mard. Like a title belt. But yes, if you got anything to say, go ahead, throw it down in the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Keep watching our videos. Thanks for taking your time to see us.